Today on CTV News at 5, Guelph townhome doors damaged by a woman with a baseball bat. The search for the suspect and scare for people living there. Plus, doctors calling for restrictions on sports betting ads. Why they say they set youth up for a future of problem gambling. And full bellies, happy hearts. We get an update from the Food Bank of Waterloo region on their latest campaign and find out more about how the community is helping fight food insecurity. CTV News at 5 starts right now. Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining us. Residents in a Guelph neighborhood will be double checking if their doors are locked tonight. This after several townhome doors were damaged by a woman with a baseball bat, and police are still searching for a suspect. Here's CTV's Alexandra Hollick.
It was just before 9 o'clock Wednesday night when Guelph police say they received a call about a woman armed with a metal baseball bat damaging doors in a townhouse complex near Auden and Eastview Roads in the city's East End. One woman who lives in the complex tells CTV News she was putting her kids to sleep when she heard yelling outside her home. She says she looked out her window and saw a woman holding a baseball bat, so she ran downstairs to lock her front door. That's when she says her door was struck several times, leaving minor dents.
I was just trying to keep her out of the house. That's all I cared about at that moment, was keeping the kids safe.
Police say another door in the same complex was also damaged. Neither of the victims knew the suspect, and they say their sense of security has been shaken. Guelph police recommending residents lock their doors and keep an eye out for suspicious activity. The suspect is believed to be Indigenous with a black ponytail and was wearing a beige cardigan at the time of the incident.
Keep the door closed. If it's possible to look out, through a door or through a window or something of that nature and get a description of the person, then certainly we do that.
Guelph police are urging anyone who may have seen the suspect or sustained damage to come forward. Alexandra Hollick, CTV News, Guelph.
A Waterloo landmark is getting ready for a big party. Let's find out more about that with CTV's Tony Grace live here in studio with us. Tony, good afternoon.
Leanne, thank you so much, and good afternoon. That's right, the original Princess Cinema in Uptown Waterloo turns 40 years old today. Of course, it's well known for screening films that go beyond the blockbusters, including classic cinema, cult favorites, and independent films. There's a free block party tonight, and they're going to be screening the first film they ever showed. That would be the classic Casablanca. The founder says they've come a long way in 4 decades.
Our audience now, it's unique. Our audience skews a little bit younger than it was even 10, 15 years ago. The young people are rediscovering a chance to disconnect from their phones and sit and watch a movie for 90 minutes or a couple of hours.
At 6, CTV's Heather Senerin hears more about the theater's history. And members of a community woodworking group are settling into their new space. The community is invited to come for the tour, enjoy refreshments, or buy handmade art to take home on Saturday. This is a volunteer-based group which relocated because the city of Kitchener needed their land for the naturalization of Schneider Creek.
Our old space was on Ottawa Street, and that building was expropriated, and we were forced to move. So we've managed to find new space which is bigger and brighter than the old one, thanks to a moving committee that we had working within the operation.
Coming up at 6, CTV's Karis Mapp will hear more from members of the group about their thoughts on the new space. So we'll see you for those stories and more coming up at 6. But for now, Leanne and Alex, it sounds like we're really getting rained on. We'll send it back over to you.
Well, thanks, Tony. I was going to say, as we take a check on the forecast, I was going to say to Alex, wow, what a beautiful day. But all I can hear right now is the rain pounding on our roof. Yeah. I don't know if you at home can hear that too, but it's pretty wild.
It's pretty loud, yes, depending on where you are too. The good news, though, this is not expected to last for hours or hours long. We're seeing more so isolated showers at this point. I know downtown Kitchener, you were getting a bit of rain not too long ago either. But yes, right now at least it is coming down quite hard outside of our studios here. Yeah, when we look at that satellite and radar map, you can see that system making its way a little bit more south. But at this point, we were supposed to see about a 30% chance of showers earlier in the day. So yeah, looks like that rain, well, decided to gave us a little bit of a show today, which is okay. Good for the gardens, good for the plants. We just dropped down to 25 here in Kitchener-Waterloo, 20 in Goderich, 28 if you are in London. So yes, it's still feeling, again, more summer-like out there, sitting in the mid to even upper 20s, even feeling warmer with that humidex outside. All right, now as we take a live look outside from downtown Kitchener, yeah, looks like a heavy rain there at least has since passed, and now even just outside of our studios here, that was short-lived.
That's very short-lived. Hopefully they don't get too wet out there. The Gawker Block hosting the Take Back the Night March tonight, so hopefully people out on the walk won't get too wet.
Maybe bring an umbrella just in case.
All right, stay with us. We'll be right back after this break. New research has health professionals calling for restrictions on sports betting ads, saying they're setting youth up for a future of problem gambling. Let's discuss with Dr. Nicola Mercer, the Medical Officer of Health in Wellington, Dufferin, Guelph. Dr. Mercer, always great to see you.
Thank you for having me.
This research was published by the Canadian Medical Association Journal earlier this week. I mean, for anyone who watches sports, you know gambling ads will be popping up throughout the broadcast. Can you talk about why it's harmful for young people?
Yeah, this is a really important topic, and I think for parents, grandparents, or adults who are listening, the game has really changed a lot in the last few years. This is not the way it used to be. And in particular, the link between video games and online gambling, that link is now becoming more firmly established. So when we look in Ontario, this is a serious problem. So in the last 4 years, we know that we have doubled the number of youth in Ontario who are gambling, and that is between the ages of grade 7 and grade 12. So we're not talking university or college-age kids here, we're talking about high school and younger kids. And locally, when we do our surveys of youth in our community, we know that 22% of youth have gambled either in person or predominantly online in the last year. So this is serious, and the risk is growing. We also know that there is a strong link. There's a reason why they're advertising on sports venues. They are really targeting people who watch sports, and a lot of them are children, youth, young adults, especially young males, who are very prone to sports betting.
So some health professionals are calling for new laws in order to protect youth. What do you think needs to be done here?
I think the idea that you can expose children to something that is actually could be bad for their health. Obviously not every single person who watches a sports betting ad is going to gamble, but a very high percentage of youth, especially young men, are doing so right now. And there's a reason why that they're advertising is because they know it works. If we were advertising, as we did in the past, cigarettes or other forms of addictive substances, we would say, no, you can't do that when children and youth are watching. But when it comes to gambling, we seem to not really understand the impact that it is having on a very young audience. It's normalizing betting. It's becoming that this, when you watch sports, this is what you're supposed to do. And everybody now has a smartphone, and a lot of young people have smartphones in their pockets. Therefore, they also have a casino in their pocket. And we're beginning to see that a lot of youth are experimenting with gambling.
Do you think that there's a benefit here for parents and families to maybe talk to their kids, educate them, teach them more about the harms that come with online gambling ads and kind of create awareness around them?
I think it's really important for adults to know that the game has changed. They start advertising to your children very young. So in the past, if you go back in the past, I think many people are listening, they've watched video games. They said, oh, I never had an issue with gambling, and you played Pong or Donkey Kong or Super Mario's or one of those games. There was no in-game gambling, but that has changed a lot. The whole gaming industry now has a lot of features within video games that are targeted at very young children that sensitize them to gambling. There are casinos in video games, there are loot bags, there are mini games within games, there are incentives like skins, which can then actually be taken out of video games and used on some casino sites for very young gamers. So this is all very blurring. It's really important for adults to know what's going on, know the games that they're playing, know what they're doing, talk to them, be really aware, especially if you have young males. Women are catching up fast, I'm not going to say that, but young males who are especially in university, we're seeing a really significant issue with young males gambling, and especially if they're athletes or in sports programs, sports management programs. A high percentage of them are actually gambling quite a bit. And it's not just the youth who are gambling. There's actually a whole growing industry of seniors who've never gambled their whole life. They're in their 70s or 80s, and they begin to gamble. And so this whole industry, which is making a lot of money off a lot of people, is also going to cause a lot of harm unless we begin to figure out how to manage it, how to explain it to our youth, and how to protect our youth from this influence.
Well, it's certainly something to create awareness around, of course, as well. Dr. Mercer, thanks so much for this. Dr. Nicola Mercer is the Medical Officer of Health in Wellington, Dufferin, Guelph. Thank you.
And thank you.
I'll take you to break and tell you what you need to know. Excitement is building as the Kitchener Rangers kick off their season with a big home opener tomorrow night against the Brantford Bulldogs. Puck drops at 7 p.m. at the Odd. After all that sunshine we saw out there today, I was not ready for that spurt of rainfall that we saw here at our studios. It came down quite heavy there.
Yeah, perfect timing, right in time for our first weather hit there, which is, you know, nice to say. Hey, we did
Might be the loudest one yet that we've heard.
I think so, because some of them can get quite loud, and we were even hearing some roars of thunder out there too. Right now, though, not too bad. I think it's past us, at least over our station here. But as we take a live look from downtown Kitchener, it was raining there moments ago too, and that has also passed, so quite gorgeous, quite nice out there, this evening. Nice blue sky, just a few clouds. You wouldn't know that it was, pretty dark gray, and we saw that heavy downpour there as well. So not a bad back half of the evening. And like we said before, about a 30% chance of showers we were expected to see today. So for some of us, yes, we would have gotten a little bit of wet weather, but good news for our gardens, of course, and maybe our lawns, since we haven't had too much heavy rain and consistently in quite some time as well. And as we look to wrap up the final rest of the week of summer, we are officially welcoming fall next week. So yes, if you would have seen throughout the hour, this would have been the system that would have passed us. So potentially in the GTHA right now. So if you are in Brantford, Hamilton, even a little bit further south and west. So Chatham-Kent also expected to see a little bit of that wet weather their way as well. So you could see just that brief downpour from time to time. So once again, that does pass. The cloud cover expected to clear. And then for your Friday, things looking pretty good. Sunshine expected to stick with us as we wrap up the work and school week, and then a little bit more cloud in store for your Saturday. But overall, we're expected to see some pretty nice conditions if you're a fan, of course, of that summer weather we've been enjoying. So most of us in that mid-20 range today, so definitely above seasonal, and with the Humidex, it is feeling warmer. So here, for example, Kitchener, Waterloo, feeling more like 30 with that humidity. 34, it's feeling like in London, and 30 in Sarnia. So it's almost like what we were seeing a little bit earlier in the season. So we did hit our high officially around 1 o'clock or so this afternoon of 27 degrees. So definitely above seasonal. Normal for this time is 19 degrees or so. We normally at this point in September are feeling a little bit more of that breeze in the air. Record high 32. That was set back on this day, 1955. And take a look at this, -2. That was our overnight record low back on this day in 1943. Okay, and that sun now setting before 7:30. I know it's quite sad to see, but hey, still at least gets past that 7 o'clock hour at this point. So overnight, 10 degrees is our expected overnight low. Partly cloudy conditions, some fog patches expected to develop, but by the morning it should dissipate. So good news there. And then tomorrow, 22 degrees, mainly cloudy, but expected to clear as we get into your afternoon hours. So taking a look at your weekend at this point for your Saturday, sunny sky in store, high of 18 degrees. So that's definitely going to feel like a more seasonal day for us before a bit of cloud cover could roll in for your Sunday with a high of 23.
We are here for our monthly visit to the Food Bank of Waterloo Region with CEO Kim Wilhelm. Always great to see you.
And I love having you here. Thanks for coming.
Yeah, we're happy to be here. First, we have to get an update on the Full Bellies Happy Hearts campaign because last time Alex and I were here, we were sorting and kind of getting all the food in order here. I know a lot of volunteers worked hard over the summer months. So talk about the campaign and did you guys meet the goal?
Well, I have to say our community is incredible, and once again we did it. We were able to raise collectively 1.5 million meals, which is so incredible. Our community came together, and I'm so grateful for the support that we've had from our community to cross over that finish line.
Wow, that's amazing. Yeah.
It's really hard to believe too. Summer is wrapping up. We're in the last few days. Fall officially kicking off next week. Can you talk a bit about the importance of engagement and really encouraging people to stay involved?
You know, I have to say, I feel like I've been a bit of a broken record over the last couple of years because need continues to increase. The need for food assistance is not going away. I would have loved that by now I could tell you that we were starting to see a decline, but August we had another record-breaking month for those who are accessing food assistance, and right now we're in the month of September, which is Hunger Action Month, and this is really a great time for us to talk about food insecurity, raise awareness, and hopefully collectively we can come together to take action because we all want a world and a community that is food secure.
Yeah, and we have this poster here for Hunger Action Month. You can find these around the food bank, I think out in the community as well. Can you tell us a little bit more about exactly what the purpose of Hunger Action Month is? Because I know it's a nationwide campaign.
Yeah, we have food banks coming together right across the country for Hunger Action Month, and there's opportunities to sign a petition for government action. There's opportunities for you to just talk about food insecurity and why a food secure community is important. Food insecurity, we know that when somebody is hungry and they're food insecure, it's because they don't have the funds that they need to purchase food, and that's what's making them food insecure. And so we want to make sure that everyone has access to food all around because food shouldn't be a frill. Food is a human basic right.
And as you know, we were mentioning with summer wrapping up too, getting into the fall season, what are some things people can look forward to? And of course, that means Oktoberfest is right around the corner.
It sure does, and I hope everybody will come to the Oktoberfest parade on Monday. Bring your food donation and financial donation. We'll have volunteers collecting right along the parade route. We also have a lot of other communities that are occurring or events that are occurring in the community during that time. And if you see something, please go and know that the food or the financial donation that you're making is going to go right back out to our community to help somebody that's in need.
Okay, lastly, we talk about how great of a community this is with everyone coming together, always giving back. We know that the food bank is always looking for volunteers as well. So we have to highlight what's going on here today at the Food Bank of Waterloo Region because we see lots of people here working in the background.
There's a lot of people here today. Right behind us we have participants from our newcomer program packing food on our hamper line. This afternoon we'll have perishable hampers being built on our hamper line. We also have a group that's about to get to work in our engagement room that's going to be sorting non-perishable food, and we have volunteers that are just here helping us move the food throughout our warehouse. There's a lot going on and a lot of people.
Yeah, and for anyone, of course, looking to get involved, you can do so because this is a very welcoming place to be. Lots of people with smiles on their faces as they help to give back to the community as well. Kim, thanks so much.
Thank you.
And here's what you need to know as we head to break. Experience the magic of live music at the All That Worldly Jazz Festival in St. Jacobs. The free event celebrates diverse cultural expressions of jazz in the charming village. It runs tomorrow through the weekend. Stay with us.
5K a day is back on 105.3
Virgin Radio.
Listen to Jeff, KP, and Backstage Ben for your chance to win $5,000
every weekday.
5K a day.
Virgin Radio.
Ontario has announced its immunization schedule for COVID-19 and flu vaccines this fall. The province says vaccines will be released in phases. Find out details on eligibility by scanning the QR code, downloading the CTV News app, or going to ctvnewskitchener.ca. And now the final 5 stories we are keeping an eye on today. Florida authorities say a man at the Epic Universe amusement park died today after riding a roller coaster. Park officials said the man rode Stardust Racers, described on the park's website as a roller coaster that can reach up to 100 kilometers per hour. Universal opened the theme park in May with 5 themed sections and a hotel with 500 rooms. In the second quarter of this year, there were a dozen reports of injuries from SeaWorld Orlando, Universal, and Disney. A new report suggests Canada's short-term targets for reducing its emissions are now out of reach after levels remained unchanged last year. The Canadian Climate Institute finds national greenhouse gas emissions for 2024 totaled 694 million tons. Canada has committed to reducing its emissions from 40 to 45% below 2005 levels by 2030. But we're now only about 8.5% lower. To reach its target, we would need to lower emissions by 40 million tons a year, and the Climate Institute says that's just not possible. Residents in Vaughan are voicing concern over coyotes in the city, saying the situation is out of control. Video from a driveway surveillance camera shows a pack of coyotes seeming to fight over something on the ground. At first, there are 3, but at least 5 more join in. The problem seems to be most concentrated in the Thornhill area of Vaughan. Of the nearly 400 coyote sightings in the city so far this year, 240 have been in that ward that includes that part of Thornhill. One of the greatest curlers in Canadian history, calling it a career. Brad Gushue is retiring from the sport. Gushue says this is his last season of competitive curling. He's a 2-time Olympic medalist, winning gold in 2006 and bronze in 2022. He's also won 5 world titles and 6 Briers. And finally for us, it may have been a bright, sunny day for most of the day, but thousands of umbrellas could be seen marching down King Street from Waterloo City Hall to Carl's Air Square. The color, connection, and commitment is community members coming together in support of the United Way's annual March of 1,000 Umbrellas. The nonprofit supports those who rely on vital services here in our region, including people facing housing and food insecurity, as well as mental health challenges. Wow, those umbrellas could have been used in the past half hour. We'll leave it there. Have a good night.